Most men would interpret the sound of their own jaw snapping as a cue to quit. But in the second round against Mary's Breedis, Jai Opetaia didn't just ignore the feedback of his own crumbling anatomy. He made a decision that would define his entire career. He didn't retreat. He didn't collapse. He swallowed the metallic tang of blood and systematically picked apart a three-time champion for 10 consecutive rounds. That night, the man from the Central Coast didn't just secure a belt. He finalized his metamorphosis into a myth. Today, that same fighter lives on Australia's Gold Coast, drives some of the world's fastest machines, and has built a fortune worth more than $8 million. Not through shortcuts, but through sacrifice. This isn't just the story of a champion. It's the story of one impossible night that changed everything. Hit the like button, subscribe, and let's step inside the remarkable life of Jai Opetaia. Today, that journey has taken him from the gritty gyms of Sydney to the relaxed luxury of Australia's Gold Coast. His home reflects that transformation, blending modern design with comfort and privacy. Large open living spaces and floor-to-ceiling glass windows fill the house with natural light. Outside, a spacious swimming pool and outdoor lounge create the perfect place to relax and recover after the demands of training camp. Inside, clean contemporary interiors, quality finishes, and a private theater room provide a quiet escape from the pressure of life at the top of the sport. The property also features a dedicated training space, allowing Jai to stay sharp without ever leaving home. That same pursuit of precision extends beyond the ring and into his garage, where a collection of automotive masterpieces functions as a direct extension of his competitive ethos. When he wants to mirror the visceral, predatory speed he unleashes during a fight, he turns to his custom Lamborghini Urus with an aggressive, wide-body kit. Its imposing presence on the road is as unavoidable as a knockout blow. Beside it, the Ferrari 488 GTB stands as a symbol of his meteoric climb, a masterclass in design that mirrors the surgical, flowing motion of his footwork. For the daily grind, he leans into the utilitarian authority of the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. With its boxy, unmistakable silhouette and custom deep-dish rims, it commands the tarmac with a presence that feels both immovable and ready to conquer any terrain. When he requires the surgical output of his training, he shifts to the BMW M Series, where sharp, aggressive lines and glowing halo LED headlamps cut through the night, emphasizing the same technical precision he employs when dissecting an opponent's defense. Finally, when family demands a larger footprint, the Range Rover Sport offers the power and practical luxury a champion of his stature requires, with its floating roofline and effortless acceleration, making it the perfect vessel for his life outside the gym. This fleet is a calculated pillar of his personal brand. But long before the luxury cars, the championship purses, and the global recognition, there was a young boy whose future looked nothing like the life he enjoys today. Jai was born into a tradition where fighting wasn't a choice. It was a cultural birthright. Emerging from a lineage that spanned 4 generations on his father's side and 3 on his mother's, he was raised in the tough, unforgiving boxing environment of Australia's Central Coast, a place that demanded raw power but brutally punished anyone who lacked technical brilliance. His amateur ascent was nothing short of historic. By 2012, he was the youngest Australian boxer to qualify for the Olympic Games, a prelude to a professional career that didn't just climb the rankings, it erased them. He systematically wiped out the domestic scene, capturing OPBF and WBA Oceania titles. But it was that night on July 2nd, 2022, that forced the world to acknowledge his presence. The night against Mary's Breedis remains the pivot point in modern cruiserweight history. In the second round, Breedis landed an uppercut that fractured Jai's jaw in 2 separate places, a structural failure that would have broken the spirit of any lesser man. Most professionals would have looked to the referee to stop the madness. Opetaia looked at his opponent and decided to win. That performance didn't just earn him the IBF and Ring magazine titles. It defined his reputation as a warrior who could survive the impossible. While the subsequent surgery and months of rehabilitation were a test of his physical resolve, The victory elevated him to legendary status in Australia, turning him into a living symbol of the Pacific warrior spirit. Opetaia exists in the perfect, lethal middle ground. He possesses the heavy-handed, old-school power of a cruiserweight, but he pairs it with the southpaw geometry and elite footwork that made Usyk an undisputed king. He isn't just imitating the greats. He is refining their blueprints for a faster, more explosive era of combat. He did not allow the momentum to fade. After his recovery, he took his talents to Saudi Arabia, delivering a viral one-punch knockout of Ellis Zorro in 2023, a performance that netted him $680,000 and confirmed his clinical superiority. He followed this with a dominant display against Jack Massey in 2024 and a masterclass against Jordan Thompson. These wins solidified his position as the consensus #1 ranked cruiserweight in the world by Ring magazine, a title he has defended with the ferocity of a man who knows his legacy is constantly on the line. However, the gloss of his current lifestyle would be entirely hollow without the bedrock of his financial discipline. With life-changing, seven-figure purses flowing in from the fight capitals of Riyadh and Las Vegas, Jai's financial profile has undergone a total evolution. His alliances with global giants like Adidas, Under Armour, and DAZN aren't just sponsorships. They are validation of his long-term commercial longevity. In 2024, his strategic dominance on the global stage paid out massive dividends. His rematch against Mary's Breedis netted him a guaranteed $500,000, a figure that was soon dwarfed by the $750,000 payout from his clinical dismantling of Jack Massey. These aren't just paychecks. They're the result of a fighter who treats his career as an investment portfolio. He operates with an early-to-rise manifesto, hitting the pavement at 5 a.m. while the world is still asleep. His strategic growth shifted into a higher gear in January 2026 when he signed with Zuffa Boxing. Becoming their flagship champion, Jai transitioned from a regional hero to a global superstar, headlining high-profile events in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas. By March 2026, his record sits at a flawless 29-0 with 23 knockouts, earning him the fearsome moniker, the Cruiserweight Monster. He now holds the IBF, Ring Magazine, and Lineal titles simultaneously. His business acumen has proven as sharp as his reflexes. He has navigated the treacherous politics of title sanctioning to ensure his path remains the most lucrative in the sport. Jai has been with his fiancée, Kanisha Murray, since October 2011, long before the world titles, the international travel, and the luxury SUVs. Their bond is the bedrock of his stability, having survived the lean years of the regional circuit where the sacrifices were immense. In July 2024, their world reached its most profound chapter with the birth of their daughter, Lila Robin Opetaia. For a man who didn't flinch while his jaw was being shattered, fatherhood brought a different, more powerful kind of pressure. He has admitted that holding Lila for the first time brought him to tears. It provided a new, permanent wife for every morning run and every grueling session in the gym. Despite the bright lights of Las Vegas, he remains deeply rooted in his community. He has become a beacon of hope for Pacific Island youth, frequently returning to his roots to mentor aspiring fighters and support local charities. He understands that his wealth and fame are tactical tools to inspire the next generation, showing them that the path from the local gym to the world stage is possible if you have enough discipline and a high enough pain threshold. As he clears out the 200-pound division, the question is no longer if he will move up, but when. The boxing world is buzzing about an inevitable heavyweight hunt. Following the trail blazed by Usyk, Opetaia's frame and speed suggest he could be a nightmare for the lumbering giants of the heavyweight class. The 2026 roadmap points toward one final, undisputed unification at Cruiserweight before a historic jump to join the big man. Whether it's a showdown with a fellow rising star in Vegas or a mega fight back in Riyadh, the next chapter of Jai Opetaia is about more than just titles. It's about immortality. The world waits with bated breath to see if the Cruiserweight Monster can conquer the giants of the heavyweight division and etch his name as a two-division legend. Years from now, People may forget how many belts Jai Opetaia won. They may forget the purses, the supercars, and even the knockouts. But they'll never forget the night he fought 10 rounds with a broken jaw and refused to surrender. Because that's how legends are remembered. Not for what they owned, but for what they endured. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Jai Opetaia, let us know in the comments. Do you think he has what it takes to become a heavyweight world champion? We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're new here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next boxing documentary. And before you go, check out our documentary on Ryan Garcia to see how another boxing superstar built his fortune, lifestyle, and legacy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.